I'm Olive, and I'm 30 years old. My husband Walter is 35, and he's been working overseas for the past year. I was left behind in our home country working a job I hated and struggling to make ends meet. The plan was for Walter to send money back home each month to support me and our families, more specifically his mother, Linda. Initially, the decision to financially support his mother was a decision we made together. I was more than happy to take care of Linda in his absence. I loved that woman, but soon things took a turn for the worse. Instead of only sending her money once in a while, as was initially agreed upon, Walter started demanding that I send money to her every single month to support her. At first, even though I had slight reservations, I didn't complain about it. After all, Linda was family, and I was happy to help. But as time went on and as life and work got harder, sending money to Linda every month was becoming a challenge. When I told him that we couldn't afford to keep paying her every month, he would normally berate me, brush it off, and accuse me of being selfish and lazy. Growing up, I was always taught to be a good wife, to support my husband no matter what, and to always put my family first. But my resolve, as you can probably imagine, was slowly dissolving. I didn't care for the blatant rudeness and disrespect, but unfortunately I wasn't the type of girl who was taught to stand up for herself and demand that I be treated the way that I deserved, with respect and kindness. So, because I was unable to send over the money for some months, Walter would find out, and he would call me and shout at me, telling me how I was a terrible wife and daughter-in-law for not supporting his mother. Even though Linda was okay with not receiving money every month, understanding how hard it was to juggle life and expenses, Walter was acting like I wasn't doing the best I could. One day, he even bashed me over the phone, telling me that I was useless and that I didn't care about his family. Hello, Walter. How are you? I'm not doing so well, Walter. Why, what's wrong? It's about the money you keep asking me to send to your mother. What about it? You keep getting angry when I can't send it every month. You bashed me over the phone the other day, and I'm still upset over it. Well, if you would just send the money on time, I wouldn't have to get angry, would I? But I can't always send it on time, Walter. I have bills to pay and other responsibilities. Responsibilities? What responsibilities could be more important than taking care of my mother? I have a life too, Walter, and I can't keep living like this, always worrying about your mother's finances. I can't believe you would say that. You're my wife, Olive. Taking care of my family should be your top priority. And what about me, Walter? Don't I matter? Don't my feelings matter? Of course you matter, Olive. But right now, my mother needs our help. I need your help too, Walter. I need you to understand how I'm feeling and to support me. And that was when it hit me. My husband, the man I loved and trusted, had betrayed me. He had put his mother's needs above mine and had made me feel like I wasn't good enough. But I wouldn't let him get away with it. I would seek revenge and make him pay for what he had done to me. As I struggled with my emotions, I couldn't help but feel a sense of betrayal. I had always supported Walter, through thick and thin, but now it felt like he had turned against me. I couldn't help but wonder if he had always felt this way, if he had always put his mother's needs above mine. But as I sat there, stewing in my anger and frustration, a new feeling began to emerge. Determination. I knew that I couldn't let Walter get away with treating me this way. I needed to take action, seek revenge, and make him pay for what he had done to me. At first, I wasn't sure how to go about it. I had never been the type of person to seek revenge, plot and scheme, and manipulate those around me. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized that I had no choice. I needed to stand up for myself, to show Walter that he couldn't treat me this way and get away with it. And so I began to plan. I researched ways to get back at him, to make him feel the same pain and humiliation that he had inflicted upon me. I reached out to old friends and allies, people who could help me with my quest for revenge. And slowly but surely, I began to feel a sense of purpose, of direction that I had never felt before. Looking back on that time in my life, I can't help but feel grateful for the experience. It was a difficult and painful journey, but it taught me so much about myself, about what I was capable of, and about the importance of standing up for oneself. And now, as I prepare to enact my revenge upon Walter, I know that I am stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever before. As I began to plan my revenge, I knew that I couldn't do it alone. I needed allies, people who could help me in my mission to take down Walter. And so I turned to Linda, my mother-in-law. Linda and I had always had a close relationship. She was kind, sweet, and loving, and she always appreciated everything I did for her. But I had never told her about the abuse that Walter had been inflicting upon me. I was ashamed and embarrassed and didn't want to cause any tension between her and her son. "Hello, Linda. I have something important to tell you, but it's quite hard." "What is it, honey?" "It's about Walter. He's been treating me terribly. He's been bashing me for not sending monthly allowance to you, and it's been taking a toll on me. I can't take it anymore." Linda's eyes widened in shock and concern. "Oh, my dear, I had no idea. Why didn't you tell me? I was afraid that it would hurt our relationship, but now I need your help. I need allies, people who can help me take down Walter and make him pay for what he's done to me." Linda nodded, her expression firm and resolute. "You have my full support, Olive. We will do whatever it takes to make things right, but first, I need more context." I began to relay more details about the fight that we had earlier, and as I got deeper and deeper into the story, Linda's eyes got wider and wider. She also got quite angry to find out that my husband Walter was treating me in such a horrid way. She was also slightly upset with me as I didn't come to her with this information earlier. I apologized and we cried together and consoled each other about our circumstances. As I delved deeper into the subject of verbal and emotional abuse that is happening, I realized that I had been foolish to keep it all a secret. Linda was more than happy to support me in any way she could, and she was outraged at the way Walter had been treating me. "Of course I'll help you, my dear. I'm so sorry to hear that Walter has been treating you this way. You don't deserve it, and I will do anything I can to help you. We need to teach that man a lesson." Over the next few weeks, Linda became my closest ally in my quest for revenge. She helped me gather information about Walter's whereabouts and habits, and she even provided me with some of the resources I would need to carry out my plan. But perhaps more importantly, Linda provided me with the emotional support that I needed to keep going. It had been so long since I got any form of emotional support that it was so refreshing and relaxing to be in this new lifestyle. She listened to me when I needed to vent, and she encouraged me to keep going when I felt like giving up. And for that, I will always be grateful. As I sit here now, waiting for the final phase of my plan to unfold, I am filled with a sense of purpose and determination. With Linda by my side and my sights set on Walter, I know that I am capable of anything. And at the time, as I thought about the look on his face when he sees what I have in store for him, I couldn't help but smile. As Linda and I continued to plan our revenge against Walter, we knew that we needed to be smart about it. We needed to come up with a plan that would make him realize the error of his ways without causing any lasting damage to our relationships. And then, one day, it hit me. What if we went on vacation together, just me and Linda? We could take lots of lovely selfies and pictures and send them to Walter. It would show him that we were having a great time together, and maybe make him realize that he needed to be more loving and prioritize his marriage as well as his love for his mother. I love that idea, Olive. Let's do it. And we can make sure to take lots of pictures together to drive the point home. Over the next few days, we planned our trip with meticulous detail. We researched the best resort, the most picturesque spots, and the most delicious restaurants. We packed our bags with the perfect outfits, and we made sure to bring plenty of sunscreen and snacks. Even though we were already complaining about money, we knew that we both needed a break. and that life wasn't just about working yourself to the bone. This vacation would kill two birds with one stone. Linda and I would get closer and closer, and we would show Walter that this was what was meant by living, not working tirelessly to make money that you'll never enjoy. And finally, the day of our trip arrived. We boarded the plane with excited anticipation, knowing that we were about to embark on a journey that would change everything. But more than that, I knew that Linda and I had forged an unbreakable bond through our shared experience. And no matter what happened next, I knew that I would always have her by my side. Linda and I decided to take a trip to Bali. We spent hours lounging on the beach, drinking cocktails, eating delicious food. It was a much-needed break from the stresses of everyday life. I am so happy we could spend this time together, Olive. Thank you for taking me with you. Of course, Linda. You deserve to be spoiled every once in a while. I hope you're having a good time. I am having a wonderful time. You're such a good daughter-in-law, Olive. You're like a second mother to me, Linda. I'm glad we could take this trip together. But remember, we have to take lots of pictures to send to Walter. I want him to see how happy we are together. I want him to realize that he's being too hard on me and that he needs to be more supportive. Let's take as many pictures as we can. Yes, let's do that. We'll make sure to take pictures of us doing fun things and enjoying ourselves, and then I'll send them to him and he'll see what he's been missing out on. You're so smart, Olive. I'm sure he'll come around once he sees how happy we are together. I hope so, Linda. I do. As we sat on the beach, soaking up the sun and taking countless selfies, I couldn't help but feel a sense of satisfaction. This was it. This was the revenge I had been waiting for. And as we sent our pictures to Walter, I knew that he was feeling the sting of his behavior. Sadly, this vacation had to be short-lived, considering our funds were low. As much as we wanted to stay and enjoy some more, we couldn't do that. As we returned from our vacation, I felt both anxious and excited to put my plan into action. Walter had no idea what was coming, and I couldn't wait to see his reaction. When I arrived home, I immediately set my plan in motion. I took a few more selfies with Linda, making sure to capture all the beautiful moments and the beautiful tans we got when we were on our trip. I then carefully selected the perfect photos, one where Linda and I were sitting on the beach holding hands and smiling. I knew this photo would get to Walter, and I couldn't wait to see his reaction. Are you ready to put this plan into action, girl? I was born ready. He needs to be humbled. That's the spirit. Now send him those pictures. I sent that picture to Walter, and I waited for him to see it. He saw it almost immediately, but there was no response. I proceeded to bombard him with many photos and videos we took on that trip, and that's when he called me. What the hell is this? Why did you send me this picture of you and my mother? I tried to remain calm as I replied. Well, Walter, I just wanted to remind you that I am your wife, and I deserve to be treated with respect. You've been bashing me for not sending money to your mother every month, but what about me? What about our marriage? Don't I deserve some attention too? Okay, but why are you taking pictures with my mother? Because there is enough space for the both of us to thrive and enjoy life. Mom, when did you get here? I was with Olive way before we took that trip to Bali. Bali? Do you know how expensive vacationing is? It's ridiculous, right? I wish we stayed longer. Now you listen here. I don't like the way you've been treating Olive. You told her? Of course she told me, and I'm extremely angry and disappointed with you. I didn't raise you like this. Why are you treating your wife like she's the dirt underneath your shoe, when she's the one who's holding down the fort back home? What if she just decided to up and leave and marry a wealthier man? We all know she has the looks for it. But here you are, berating her even though she's doing her best every single day. I told you to stop sending me allowance money months ago. I really don't need that much. When you were sending the money, I thought that you were good for it. I didn't know you two were struggling. And here you are, making it worse for your wife when you need to be supporting her. Now you better apologize for all of the stress you put her through instead of shouting at her and berating her for no good reason. Why don't you put that same energy into working harder so that you can have more money? Walter was silent for a few moments. This was the first time I saw him stunned and completely speechless. And then something more shocking came about. He started to cry. Linda and I kept silent as we heard him sob over the phone. I'm so sorry, Olive. I didn't realize how much I was neglecting you. I've been so focused on my mother's needs that I forgot completely about yours. Please forgive me. I understand you, Walter, and honestly, your mother is right. If someone else was in my shoes, they probably would have left you by now. But I'm stuck beside you through thick and thin. I'm afraid I won't allow you to abuse me anymore. You have to be kinder, and you have to be more lenient. I understand, Olive. I promise that my behavior will change. I will never take you for granted ever again. We cut the call, and Linda expressed how proud she was of me for standing up for myself like that. Honestly, I was shocked myself too with the way that I stood up for myself. As the weeks turned into months, the resolution of our confrontation continued to unfold. Walter made a sincere effort to mend our relationship and prove his commitment to change. He started by actively participating in our conversations, asking about my day and expressing genuine interest in my thoughts and feelings. It was as if a new level of understanding had blossomed between us. We embarked on a journey of rediscovery, taking the time to communicate openly and honestly about our needs and desires. We attended couples therapy together, where we learned valuable tools to strengthen our bond and cultivate a healthier dynamic. The therapy sessions provided a safe space for us to address past wounds and heal together. In the process, I also shared with Walter the emotional toll his expectations regarding his mother's financial support had taken on me. He genuinely listened and expressed regret for the pressure he had unknowingly placed upon me. Together, we established clearer boundaries and found a compromise that balanced our responsibilities to both our families and our well-being. The resolution of our conflict had a ripple effect on those around us. Linda, who had been unaware of the extent of our struggles, witnessed the transformation in our relationship with joy and relief. She praised our efforts to rebuild our connection and was grateful for the newfound harmony in our lives. I know you two will be all right. You just hit a rough patch in the road, but I'm glad that this situation managed to bring us closer together as mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. There aren't even enough of those healthy relationships dynamics. So going on that trip together was beautiful for us. Thanks once again, Olive. It was my pleasure. Thank you for helping me out. Our journey wasn't without its challenges, and there were times when doubts crept in. Lingering insecurities and the remnants of past grievances occasionally resurfaced, threatening to cast shadows over our progress. However, through open communication and a shared commitment to growth, we faced these challenges head-on, ensuring that they didn't hinder our newfound happiness. As time went on, the resolution brought a sense of closure and healing. The wounds caused by our previous conflicts slowly faded, replaced by a deeper understanding and appreciation for one another. We learned from our mistakes and vowed never to take each other for granted again. The experience taught me the importance of standing up for oneself and demanding the respect and love we all deserve in a relationship. It also emphasized the power of forgiveness and the potential for growth and transformation within even the most broken of connections. In the end, our resolution wasn't solely just about revenge or proving a point. It was about rekindling the love that had initially brought us together. It was a testament to the resilience of love and the transformative power of self-reflection and personal growth. And as we moved forward together, we did so with a renewed sense of hope and a commitment to nurturing our marriage, cherishing the lessons learned along the way. I knew that my plan had worked. I had finally gotten through to Walter and made him see the error of his ways. From that day on, he started to prioritize our marriage, and we were happier than ever before. Looking back on it now, I realized that my revenge was not about hurting Walter. It was about making him understand how his actions were affecting me and our marriage. And in the end, it all worked out.